Hey guys, hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I am glad you guys are here. If you get the chance and you're so inclined, please hit that subscribe button below. Analytics show me that most of the people that watch my videos don't subscribe to the channel, and it would really help me out in terms of getting my videos out in front of more people, and it would let you guys get notified when I upload new videos, and I'd just appreciate it if you're so inclined, hit that subscribe button. But today I wanted to take a little bit of time, and as I dive deeper into my collection, I wanted to go through and just kind of do an overview of 5 USA made knives that I'm really enamored with, that I really like. Starting out in no particular order. These are not in the top 5 from 5 to 1. I've done 5 USA knives before. I don't think these particular ones were covered in it, but we will see. There may be some overlap, there may not. But this is the Protech Mordax. The Protech Mordax came into my collection very late. Nashville Custom Knife Show 2022, which was last year. I was up there and I bumped into the Protech crew, David and the guys, and actually they had some of these in stock. And I don't know if you guys know, but if you buy things at Blade Show or at one of the custom knife shows, you're typically going to get about, on a knife like this, I want to say it was $250 or $275, where it lists for a good bit more than that if I were to buy it now. It is Magna Cut. It is a little bit thinner than the Mordaxes of the past. It does have a little bit different grind on it. Still a flat grind, 3/4 flat. Fantastic handle, fantastic choil. The Malibu, which is a smaller button lock or plunge lock knife that Protech makes, is one of my OG favorites and one that I chased for a really long time. The Protech Mordax, I was not even at all sure how it could be much better, a little better, or even one that I carried, knowing that I've got the Malibu that I don't carry nearly enough. But this Mordax is just a fantastic size in my hand. Has a very usable finger choil. Works for all types of cuts. Still working on the factory edge. Guys, I've cut my coupon book up, but just so you know, it is still very sharp. And the Protech Mordax in Magna Cut, ferrum forged design, great little pocket clip with plenty of tight retention, fantastic action. I'm horizontal, guys, so I have to give it a little wrist, but if I just stand it up here just a little bit and give it a little angle, it's drop shutty. So one of my top 5s in this particular video that I think you can't lose with, USA made Protech Mordax, designed by Ferrum Forge. Moving on, we will look at one of my all-time favorite knives that I've got several renditions of, several different blades, several different steels, but this is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. A lot of people love the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. A lot of people hate the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. A lot of people say, Javon, you should really try the Spyderco Paramilitary 3, and I tell them, guys, I did. I had one in my collection. Absolutely did not like it. For some reason, on my medium to large size hand, the Para 2 just seems to fit it that much better. I don't know why. I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's psychological. But the Para 2, my standard blade Para 2, is one of the first, what I would consider nicer USA made knives I brought into my collection. It's the S110V Blurple version that now is has some scales on it and looks a little different, but it's still just a badass knife. This is the Warncliffe that was the Cutlery Shop exclusive that came out in CTS HXP. I have got this is actually the reason it's got the number 16 on there, is that is OCD for EDC, and I made a trade on this knife, and I think it came out of his Spyderco collection. But I put the original, these might be rock scale design scales. I put these rock scale design scales and the hardware on this knife. I love CTS HXP. I love the Warncliffe. I love the fact that OCD for EDC, my brother gave me the opportunity to own it. And I'm glad I had a knife that he liked. It's got a Lynch clip on it. Just made in Golden, Colorado, USA Earth. So whether you look at a Warncliffe, whether you look at a regular S45 VN, Spyderco PM2, whether you look at a Tanto when it comes out, whether you look at that funky Bowie, I wouldn't really look at that one that I saw pictures of after something not too long ago. I'd seen it pop up on Reddit or something. I'm not real crazy about that. It actually looks like the Tanto that they've kind of cut a little clip out of. But guys, I just really think that these knives, paramilitary 2s, whether you mod them or not, they're a fantastic canvas to be modded. But again, in their natural iterations, when they come from the factory with G10, Spyderco uses some of the nicest G10 that I've seen, that I've used. And I just really like to kind of bling out my paramilitary 2s because there's so many aftermarket parts that are available for it. But that is, again, one of the top cool 5 USA made knives in this video, and we will keep moving on. Next, we will come to a knife from my favorite USA manufacturer, TRM, or Three Rivers Manufacturing. Halliburton Titanium is where they got their start, and this is the TRM Atom. And it is adorned with titanium scales that are very lightly milled, very elegantly milled. Fantastic access to the lock bar. Got a 20 CV blade. It is probably one of the sliciest knives in my collection. It has got very thin blade geometry. It has got very well heat treated 20 CV blade steel. Again, the cutting geometry and the thinness of that blade behind the edge. The Atom is the Neutron's larger brother. It is a full medium-sized knife for me. I can get it in several different grips. The Neutron is every bit as nice as a knife. I like the Atom. I've also got titanium scales on it. I like the Atom just because it's the biggest form factor of this particular TRM model. When I say form factor, the Atom, the Neutron, and the Nerd all allow you to change out your scales however you want to, just with these 2 screws here and these 2 screws here, so you can personalize the knives as much as you'd like. And they just are great cutters, guys. Great carries, very easy to manipulate, very easy to maintain because they're on washers. And I can't say enough things that are positive about TRM, what they not only do for the knife community, but what they do for their local community. Just fantastic people. Marianne, Lee, and the tribe there are just some of my favorites and always will be. So TRM Atom, mad win. And we will move on and take a look at the Hinderer Flipperless Eklipse. This knife is a fantastic knife. It's a little bit more tactical than the XM18, at least according to Rick Hinderer's website. It's designed kind of as a more tactical, pokey, I guess, stabby type of knife. Let me wipe this blade off. Here comes Tippy walking by. I apologize for that, guys. Hold on one sec. There she goes. But the Hinderer Eklipse, again, without the flipper, since it does have the flipper delete, which means it only actuates on the thumb studs, but it is just in hand, it is a very comfortable knife. It has a nice thick blade geometry. It's not the sliciest knife. It is CPM 20 CV. It's probably not the hardest heat treat because I know Rick Hinderer designs his knives for hard use. I did put, after talking to Captain Jared Neves to find out how he sharpened his Hinderers, I set my TS Prof up to, I think it was 19.5, 20 degrees. And I just put very, very, very toothy edges on all of my full-size Hinderers. This one has been modded a little bit. Again, I got this, I think it was a Knife Joy exclusive. I forget exactly who dropped it, but it was the Stonewash Bronze. And I was able to pick up, when they dropped some new Stonewash Bronze smooth clips. And then I got some titanium battle blue hardware kind of to set it off. This is kind of my flashier Hinderer. It's a little bit more janky and I guess bougie, if you want to say, as I missed the reverse flick. But this is just a great knife in the hands, guys. It's very able. I wouldn't have any problem sticking this through a car door. I wouldn't have any problem using this to break down kindling for a fire. I wouldn't have any problem in a, God forbid, self-defense situation. I had to rely on this knife because, you know, it's just what I had at my disposal, because it is absolutely capable of, I think, anything that you throw at it. So I love my Hinderer knives. I love the Eklipse. The Flipperless Eklipse is probably one of my favorites. But we will move on and we will go to the final, and not the number one, but it could be in my collection in the USA made varieties. This is the Medford Infraction, and it is in the pattern that Medford Knives and Tools calls Stars and Bars, which to me is super cool. When I saw it, I was just enamored with it. I didn't get it right away. I kind of had to save up for it and look around to make sure it was still there. It was. It has this milled out, what I kind of look like is airplane rivet panels milled into the body of the knife, and then it's got the little Mustangs type USA battle flag that you'd find on a plane. It came with titanium blue hardware to offset that color. The blade is a wicked hollow grind, super sharp. See if I can find any. Super thick, the thickest of probably the knives I have out here. We will look at it compared to the Eklipse, and you can tell that that blade stock is super thick. Medford Infractions are probably the Medford knife that fits my hand like a glove. I can use this choil extensively. I can use the handle. I could chop with this knife. I could cut with this knife. The tip is almost acute enough to where I could remove a splinter with this knife. It's an S35VN. I should have wiped off where I've cut with this knife. But the grind, guys, is just something to behold. You know, I think in my last video, my Medford MIDI Marauder video, I look at the knife, not just the person. I understand if you are different, that's okay. I love you anyway. This knife is overbuilt. It's elegant. It uses T30 pivots, uses T10 body screws, T6 on that over travel stop if you want to adjust that. It is also, if you don't like blade hole deployments, it's also a flipper. And as far as Hinderers go, I would call this a smaller Hinderer knife. But it is very elegant. I love carrying it. It makes me feel awesome when I carry it. Not for any other reason that I know if I'm going to be up to anything from cutting string to ripping into an Amazon package, the Hinderer, or excuse me, the Medford Infraction will get it done. So guys, that is 5 what I consider out of my collection really cool, worthy of a video to show you guys knives that are made in the USA. Every single one of these are available. You will have to just look for them. The Warncliffe Paramilitary 2, there'll be other drops on it. Every Friday, or at least every other Friday, if you look on TRM's page, they're dropping some Atoms. Blade show's coming up, guys. I don't know if there'll be any Mordax drops before there, but I can guarantee you they'll have them there. Flipperless Eklipse, that might be a little harder to grab, but you could go out now to several of our favorite higher end knife retailers, and you could find some really nice colorway patterns of the Infraction. I was looking at a DLC coated, just totally grayed out, just beautiful one today. I think it was on eKnives. But guys, I appreciate you. I'm so glad y'all stopped by. I do ask that you subscribe if you're so inclined. If you haven't done that yet, I promise it won't cost you anything. It'll make it worth your while. Put out more content, hopefully that you find enjoyable. Please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate over hate. Try to understand other people's, side of the equation, right? We're all spinning on this big ball together, so we might as well try to make the best of it, right? Try to understand your fellow tribesmen, guys. I love you all. Peace.